Horror movies are one of my favorite type of movies to watch, mainly slashers and the somewhat supernatural type movies. Personally, I love Halloween and Scream, or even The Thing. The atmosphere and the kind of real feel they have to them sometimes. Now imagine being able to play in that movie, without getting hacked up of course. We'll look no further than the Dark Pictures. The main goal of these games is to help all of the characters survive, whatever crazy scenario they're in. I love these games, well, most of them. I love these types of games, the choose your dialogue movie kind of games, kind of like Life is Strange or The Wolf Among Us. Those are a little more cartoony, but stuff like that, you know what I mean. And since there's only 4 in the series, I wanted to add 2 more games to the mix, made by the same people, Supermassive Games. Those games are Until Dawn and The Quarry, but with all that being said, let's get right into it. At the bottom of the list, at number 6, is the Dark Pictures Man of Medan. I'm probably saying that wrong. Medan? I don't know. The first Dark Pictures, game in the series, and the worst in my opinion. While I won't say it's necessarily a horrible game, it really was just kind of like a proof of concept. Plus, I really wasn't a fan of that ending, not to mention how quick we got there. The characters were good, but just as I started liking them and the story, it ends, and everything else was pretty good, I guess. I mean, I like the side characters, and, they were fine, and the atmosphere was really good, being kind of trapped on this ghost ship, but the story really sucked at the end of the day. It's this buildup of nothing. I get they wanted to have, like, some type of twist, with it being, like, this chemical making everyone see shit, as opposed to it actually being ghosts or demons or whatever, but it was kind of lame. The setup was good, the pirates boarding our, boat until this big-ass creepy ship appears, but as soon as it gets good, it slowly dulls out. It played good, but I can't see myself playing this ever again, to be honest, and it kind of made me worried about the future of titles to release in this series, but as you can see, they ended up getting better. Next up at number 5 is the Dark Pictures Little Hope. This is the second game in the franchise. This game looked, played, and felt better than the last game, by far. And while the story is still pretty mid, it was all in our head.
It was all a dream!
I think it was handled a little better than this, it was this chemical making us see scary shit. This small Silent Hill-esque town was a dope backdrop, and I like the characters a little more here. Again, the story wasn't nothing too amazing. We're some college kids on our way to who knows where, I kind of forget, and our bus crashes, so us kids and our professor look for help in this town. It works, and while the ending again kind of fumbles, I like it more than the last title, and I would definitely play this one again as opposed to Man of Medan. I'm probably totally saying that wrong, but I don't give a fuck. Just works better for me, and it's at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is the most recent Dark Pictures at this current moment, the Dark Pictures, The Devil in Me. To be honest, this and the next one on the list bounce back and forth, as I think they're both great games. While a lot of people don't like this title, mainly because of the bugs that the game had on release, I think it's great. Probably because I only had 2 bad bugs while playing. So it ran pretty good for me overall. The Devil in Me follows this documentary crew making a film about the real-life killer H.H. Holmes, and is offered to go to a museum on an island that's a recreation of the real-life murder castle, a hotel that H.H. Holmes made. Go check out Morbid, a true crime podcast, by the way, to hear more about H.H. Holmes. It's a good story, and Morbid, they're amazing over there, an amazing podcast, love them. But anyways, we got our setup. Now, how bad could it go? Horrible, awful. It's gonna go horrible. And, there's this wannabe H.H. Holmes on the island, and we have to survive the murder castle. Simple yet effective, no beating around the bush. It's not fake, just a sick dude trying to do sick shit. I love it. It's the best looking game, and when it works well. And if you haven't played this game because someone said it's a buggy mess, I'm sure they fixed it by now, and I really think it's worth a shot if you like these types of games. It's not the best, obviously, but it's a really good game nonetheless. Decent characters, a good atmosphere, a good world, and a decent story. And number 3 is the Dark Pictures House of Ashes, the third title in the Dark Pictures series, and arguably the best one after the first 2 were fake-out ghost stories. House of Ashes puts us in this crazy-ass scenario with real-ass monsters taking us back to the early 2000s. We're soldiers, the Middle East, doing soldier shit, until we accidentally blow up this, ancient tomb that had been buried for a long, long time. Getting trapped, we have to find our way out, but we're not alone. After making a lot of noise in the collapse, we awake something terrifying. I don't actually know what these things are supposed to be, but damn, would I not want to be in a room with these things. So we fight to the death, and wait, is that Ashley Tisdale?
I'm Ashley Tisdale, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Oh yeah, it is. Weird game for her to be in, but at least it's a good game. The characters are all pretty good. There's also this, affair story going on in the mix of things. It seems like Maddie from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody has been getting busy. Overall, it's a great game. The story is interesting and intense. No fake outs. Seems like Supermassive Games learned their lesson, and it plays really good. Looks great as well, and this is probably the Dark Pictures I've played the most. Me and my wife love these games, and if I had to bet, it would be her favorite of them all too. Another game I don't really want to spoil, as if you haven't played it, then I highly encourage you to do so. It's a really good time, and it's definitely easily my number 3. So yes, my top 2 are not any of the Dark Pictures games, the main reason we're here. But that's not a bad thing. The Dark Pictures is still great, but Supermassive Games really outdid themselves with these other games, and it just does it better for me. So let's get right into it with number 2. So at number 2 is The Quarry. Released in the summer of 22, feels weird saying that, holy shit, it's 2024 now. So we follow the story of a quarry. Well, a camp that was built on a quarry with a suspicious past, but we'll kinda get there. We're a group of counselors, and as the kids leave for the end of the summer, it's time for us to pack up and, well, leave. We were gonna leave until your boy here, though, wanted some ass and fucks up the whip. So, we're stuck here for another night. But Deputy Dewey has to take off because he's sketchy, so we wait, I guess. So it's time to party, but while we're partying, fucking werewolves come out of nowhere and start fucking it all up. Now we have to survive the night, for the most part. And I love this game. I was super excited when it was coming out. Graphically, it looks amazing, and while the gameplay is kind of limited, I mean, most of these games have limited gameplay, it does play well. The story is interesting and mysterious, but I will say I'm not a fan of kind of how it ended, with no, like, kind of definitive cutscene. I mean, it is a cutscene, but it kind of just shows you small clips of everyone who lived and who didn't. Other than that, this game is great. There is some well-known actors that make an appearance here, too. First that comes to mind is Brenda Song, another, Sweet Life actor that was in one of these games. She did great. And David Arquette from one of my favorite movie series of all time, Scream. All in all, it's a good-ass time. And it does have a decent replay value out of all of these, because there's little hints and stuff you can find. I mean, obviously the overall goal is to survive, but some characters can get turned into werewolves, and you can, I don't want to spoil anything. If you kill certain things, you might be able to reverse what happens to certain characters. I hope I did well enough there. This is probably the one I played the most, and I highly recommend it. If you haven't played it yet, you definitely have to. For me, it's number 2. So there can only be one, right? And surprisingly enough, it's Supermassive's first attempt at these type of games. That holds the crown for me, at least. I'm of course talking about Until Dawn, a PlayStation exclusive, the only one on this list that is a PlayStation exclusive. And for me, at least to my knowledge, it really kind of came out of nowhere, and for the time, and even to this day, it looks amazing. I can't even believe that it came out in, 2015? It looks so good. When this game came out, I actually didn't have a PlayStation at the time, silly Xbox player. I actually watched Markiplier play it, and it's one of my favorite Let's Plays by the legend. But years later, I'd get to try it for myself, and it's even better than I remembered. The story follows a group of friends returning to another friend's cabin 1 year after an accident that caused some close ones to die. It's a little awkward, but perfect for a little drama. And there's other dramatic stuff, love circles and shit. We wind up getting stuck on the mountain until dawn. Ooh. And something is lurking in the shadows. This game is great. Again, I won't spoil anything for the story. It's a game you must play. Plus, it's getting a remaster for the PS5 and the PC, so for anyone who didn't play, this is a sign to do so. This is one of my favorite horror games of all time, and probably in my top 20 games of all time. The characters are great. The gameplay, while again limited, it's fun, it's scary, it's a very beautiful game, very breathtaking. And it was definitely a game changer for super story-focused games, in my opinion, and it's my favorite of these games, and it's number 1. That's just the way it is. I hope y'all agree. We'll see. But that's just my list, and I would love to know your list in the comments below. But thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. You are awesome. If you could click like, share, and subscribe to see more awesome stuff, I'd greatly appreciate it. And I want to take a second to promote my TikTok, as I do lots of cool stuff there as well. And you can find the link in the description of this video and other videos, so check it out if you got a sec. But either way, that's all I got for you today. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe to see more stuff that I have done. But anyways, thanks for coming, and thanks for watching.